And now, Sock Puppet Theatre proudly presents an introduction to Satanism.
Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm a Christian.
Hi, I'm Samael, and I'm a Satanist.
A Satanist? You mean you worship the devil?
What? No, that's a common misconception. In fact, in Satanism there is no devil worship, because Satanists don't believe in the devil. No gods, no deific entities at all.
You mean you're an atheist heathen?
That's one way of putting it.
Then why call yourself a Satanist at all? Why not just say atheist?
Because Satanism means something apart from atheism, despite Satanism being a religion with no gods.
Oh Lord, save me!
He won't help you, but hear me out. To me and other Satanists, the concept of Satan is symbolic of everything against the Bible and theistic organized religions.
That's because Satan is the enemy of God!
In a way, Satan, the word here is used from a Hebrew root word meaning adversary or opposition, but not as a deific entity. Let me put it this way. Do you believe in a supernatural being you call God?
Oh, of course! God is holy and benevolent and loves us all.
And do you also believe in a supernatural being you call Satan?
Again, yes! Satan is evil! What's your point?
You see, I believe in neither of the two being real or supernatural. I think it's more likely that they are both metaphors created by ancient civilizations to help explain what they couldn't know.
Then why call yourself a Satanist if you don't believe in Satan or God or real?
Because I oppose the idea of religious indoctrination. So strongly, I value free thinking, and Satanism is a religion that promotes that.
Oh yeah? Well, God gave us free will. I have faith in him because he knows what's best for all of us. You're obviously just someone who's turned your back on him.
By using my free will?
By being tempted by sin. Don't you see this is God's test for all of mankind?
But we're socks.
For all of sock-kind too.
Why would God grant us free will, then demand faith without sufficient evidence of his existence?
Because heaven is the reward.
So, you're saying that by choosing to use my free will, that you say is God-given, I get punished? Sounds like a fickle God. Instead of concerning myself with the notion of an afterlife, I'm more focused on this life, crafting a better world around me. After all, I can prove I exist. Can't say the same for that absent deity of yours.
I also want a better world for all of God's creatures.
Right. And the way to do that is by teaching others to rely on themselves, not a figment of cultural mass delusion.
Isn't that what's called a humanist approach?
That's part of it. But what's to say I couldn't also be a humanist? Some Satanists oppose humanism, but certainly not all.
But you just said you're a Satanist! Make up your mind! You're deliberately trying to confuse me! Glory, glory, hallelujah! Glory...
Stop that! It's tiresome.
So, when did this all start, then?
What? Satanism?
Yes.
Satanism is originally started as a biblical interpretation of evil, but the recess of time makes it hard to pinpoint exactly.
So, my religion is older than yours. That means it must be true.
Ancient Greek and ancient Egyptian pantheism are both older than Christianity. Does that make them truer than that?
Oh, no, but the world is 6,000 years old.
Ugh. You know, I would really roll my eyes at you right now if I had eyes. Anyway, before and around the medieval period, The pagan religions of Europe, Northern Africa, and the Middle East were othered by the Christians of the time, and eventually got conflated with devils and Satanism. Then it happened to other Christian groups, with being called heretics by the Roman Catholic Church. When the Roman Catholics and Protestants split in the Middle Ages, each side accused the other of being in league with Satan.
But they are both really different denominations of Christians.
Yes, we know that. But they used this name-calling as a way to revile the other side. Anyway, during the 18th century in Britain and Ireland, a few gentlemen's social clubs called the Hellfire Clubs appeared and celebrated what could be described as Satanism.
Drunken hooligans! What did they do? Sacrifice children and goats?
No, they used religious imagery to mock Christianity from an atheist perspective, as well as hold orgies with women dressed as nuns.
Sacrilege!
Well, that brings me up to the 20th century, notable for modern Satanism.
Oh, you mean people were held by wicked satanic cults and nearly sacrificed, but they got away, and their repressed memories resurfaced years later?
Only that's not true, because there was never any proof of the rituals.
Well, what about the repressed memories of Michelle Smith? Her psychiatrist wrote about her abusive family that put her through satanic rituals where babies were sacrificed.
The evidence never held weight on inspection in trials, and the reconstructed memories were falsified. What you're talking about was the Satanic Panic, which was nothing more than a moral outcry.
But there were children abused around that time.
True, although only about half of the number of reports showed any child abuse, and none of it was linked to Satanism or organized groups of Satanists.
Well, what about the serial killer Richard Ramirez? He was a Satanist who carved that evil pentagram symbol into his victims.
Ramirez only claimed he was a Satanist. Real Satanists condemn what he or any other serial killer does.
That's just a no true Scotsman fallacy.
Actually, no. While Satanism doesn't flat out regulate against violence, Satan only represents vengeance, violence to those who deserve it.
Ah, but the Bible says turn the other cheek. It says, thou shalt not kill.
You mean the same book in which God commands wars, genocide, slavery, and rape?
That's not what it means! You're taking it out of context!
At the very least, I'll concede that followers of any religion can still be bad people or do bad things. No one is 100% good. But what I mean by modern Satanism is that in the 1960s, the Church of Satan was established by Anton LaVey, author of the Satanic Bible.
Ooh, creepy!
A little. He was a big fanatic of the occult, which was promoted before him by others who certainly embodied similar philosophies, including, notably, Aleister Crowley. He was also very heavily leaned against religious doctrine, as well as conformity. He saw Satan as the embodiment of indulging the ego, and that Satanists are individuals.
So you're saying that Satanists are the emo kids going through their non-conformist phase?
No, I mean actually individualistic.
And that's what you believe?
A little. You see, LaVey somewhat believed in supernatural spirituality, and while I can totally get on board with his 9 satanic statements, a set of creeds that describe Satanism.
What, you mean like a satanic version of the 10 Commandments?
Similar, but not really. The 10 Commandments are rules you obey, while the satanic statements outline what Satan is. My point is that not all Satanists follow LaVey's exact thinking. There are offshoots of Satanism, the Temple of Set, and the Satanic Temple, for example.
Wow, sounds spooky.
Not at all. You've probably seen news pieces about the latter. Lucien Greaves, the charismatic spokesperson, does many public appearances, pushing for secularism in public institutions like schools and governments.
But
Like what? You've heard of the Baphomet Monument in Oklahoma? That was their doing.
Yes! They wanted to put that filthy statue next to the Ten Commandments. Such blasphemy!
That's the point. To you, it's blasphemy. To me, it's a way of politically trolling the system that allowed a religious monument on public property.
But the Ten Commandments are good and virtuous. They represent laws.
You can't allow representation for one religion and not others. That's unfair, and it's unconstitutional.
So, how did you become a Satanist?
Well, LaVey and the Church of Satan espoused that Satanists are born, not made.
What's that supposed to mean when it's at home? You're like diamonds?
No, it means Satanism appeals to those with a nature inclined towards it. I believe real Satanists aren't converted. They find their way to the religion through intense research and learning.
But I think some of these things too. These statements make sense to me. I think I'm a Satanist now. I'm going to follow this religion.
I wouldn't advise that. Read more about it, then make up your mind, based on fully informed consent.
Oh!
Hi everyone, Joy here. I hope you've enjoyed that bizarre fucking production that I've just made. As a sort of introduction and outline of Satanism and, well, humour, I hope. I wanted to do a video about Satanism, but not in the usual sort of style. So I was thinking about it, and I looked over at my drawers, and I saw my socks sticking out, and I thought, yeah, sock puppets. That's a way to illustrate a point. Anyway, here's an epilogue for you, and see you next time. Bye! You know, LaVey wrote in his book, The Satanic Bible, that Satanists' view of God is the self. Satan represents one's own ego, not an external deity. Satan worship is really self-worship.
That's so selfish.
Not like that. Don't you believe in taking good care of yourself? That good mental well-being is important? That your body is a temple?
Well, of course.
Exactly. It's about people.
Oh, socks.
It's about us. I believe in us. I know we're here.
But God is real. I believe in God. What about that?
But why?
I believe those things because the Bible tells me so.
Well, what do you think God is like?
Ah. That's God, right there.